Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1984 Detroit Tigers season replay. Today's matchup is between the New York Yankees and the Detroit Tigers at Tiger Stadium. On the mound for the Yankees today is Steve Rogers, whose record is 4-3 with a 4.25 ERA. And pitching for the Tigers today is Bert Blyleven, whose record is 4-1 with a 3.67 ERA. Okay, we seem to have developed a pattern here on this homestand. We win the first two games of each series, and then we take a loss. We win the first two games versus the Red Sox. We take a big loss, and then we take the first two games here against the Yankees, and yet to be determined. But in each of these two losses, we've had players that were tired, and I've played them anyway, and then I regret doing that. Because we could have just given them the day off and they may have been more rested heading into the next series. Well, I have not learned my lesson. We have three Tigers that are tired today. We're going to stick them in the lineup. We do have tomorrow off, so after today's game, we will go ahead and just advance a day to get ready for the road series against the Blue Jays. So, yes, we are going to play those tired players today. It's a good pitching matchup. We have Steve Rogers for the Yankees versus Bert Blyleven, two of the better pitchers in the Baseball Mogul Sim that we're doing right now. But before we get to started with today's game, I did actually sign a free agent. It's a familiar face. If you follow this series, we'll go right to the transactions, and here it is. I signed Andre Dawson, former Detroit Tiger, to a minor league deal, 1 year at $60,000. I haven't updated his card yet because he is in the minors. He hasn't played at all this year, so we're going to put him in Double-A at Birmingham for a couple of weeks, unless he hits really well, and then we'll move him to Triple-A, and then we'll at some point, probably call him back up. You can see here that we traded for him in '82. He didn't do much for us. In fact, he was kind of a liability. And then in '83, he started off really great, and we ended up trading him. I figured I guess he didn't start out great. He was batting .230 for crying out loud. Why did I think he was doing better? Maybe I got confused with his Houston numbers, but we traded him to Houston, where he did play well in limited duty for them. He became a free agent, and he's just been sitting there. Now, when I signed him to this minor league deal, his rating was a 74. We signed him, he drops down to a 71. I don't know about that. I mean, defensively, he's solid anywhere. In the outfield, his numbers don't look that great now for some reason. Again, I don't know why they took that big dip, and all of his other numbers suck as well. If you look at his skills, like he just completely dropped off the table, like so many players do when they join our team or when they've been on our team for a couple of seasons. So I don't really know why that is. Anyway, it's a low risk, high reward possibility with Andre Dawson. It doesn't hurt us to have him in the minor leagues. It isn't really going to cost us much, and we could just cut him if we need to. So, having said that, let's go ahead and get started with today's game. As always, I appreciate everyone following along. Like and or subscribe to the channel. Let's take a look here at Bert Blyleven. The current Yankee lineup is batting .297 against him. That's not so great. He is coming off a really good start, though. All of the bullpen is available today, which is nice. Our lineup versus Steve Rogers, the righty. Gibby, George Brett, and I believe Alan Trammell are the three. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's Gibby, Glenn Wilson, and Brett. Those are the three players that are all listed as tired today. We got Lemon back in there in center field. Eddie Miller did not do well in 2 starts. Didn't even get a hit. He got on base only one time via the walk. So that was what made me want to go out and try to find a center fielder, because we just have no production in center field. Okay, let's take a look here at the lineup rundown for the Yankees. Appears to be the same as yesterday. Batting leadoff in center field is Ozzie Smith. Batting second at first base is Dennis Worth. Batting third in left field is Steve KEMP. Batting cleanup in right field is Danny TARTABULL. Batting fifth at third base is Bob Horner. Batting sixth and catching is Ron HASSEY. Batting seventh in center field is Lee Mazzilli. Batting eighth and DHing is Oscar Gamble. And batting ninth at second base is Shawn Gilbert. Let's take a look here at Bert Blyleven. Come on, there we go. He's making his ninth start, 4-1, with a 3.67 ERA, 38 strikeouts, and 56 in the third innings pitched. Only 12 walks, that's nice. Opponents are batting .273 against him. He does have a complete game shutout. His fastball tops out at 89 miles an hour. He's a fly ball pitcher. He's got one good pitch left in his arsenal. That's a sidearm curve rated an 85. Overall, a 79. The 33-year-old righty goes to free agency in 1986. Looking at his log, he has won 2 in a row. He had a good start versus Cleveland, a better start versus Boston. He went 7 1/3, giving up a run. On 4 hits, a walk, 5 strikeouts. I guess that probably means he's due to get clobbered today. We shall see. Let's take a look here at the Tigers' defense. As always, solid everywhere, including behind the plate with Kennedy. And we do have Lemon back out there in center field. Okay, let's get the game going. Ozzie Smith leading off versus Bert Blyleven, 4 for 9 in his career versus Bert. And a fly ball to right field caught by Wilson for out number 1. I always like it when we get the first guy out. It makes me feel better. Allows me to relax. This is me relaxed. Dennis Worth strikes out on a pitch that's high and outside. Blyleven looking good. I love that his card says the Tigers now, even though he's wearing the Cleveland jersey. 2 quick outs for Blyleven, and then KEMP rips it right at Brock, who snares it for out number 3. So a nice 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the first. Let's take a look at the Tigers lineup rundown. Lots of lefties in the lineup today. Batting leadoff in left field is Kirk Gibson. Batting second at second base is WHITAKER. Batting third in right field is Glenn Wilson. Batting cleanup and DHing is Kenny Smith. Batting fifth at first base is Greg Brock. Batting sixth at third base is George Brett. Batting seventh and catching is Terry Kennedy. Batting eighth at shortstop is Alan Trammell. And batting ninth is the center fielder Chester Lemon. Okay, Steve Rogers sporting the Yankees card. Nice updated look to his card. He is making his 10th start for the Yankees. He's 4-3 with a 4.25 ERA, 50 strikeouts, and 65 2/3 innings pitched. Does not walk many. Opponents are batting .278 against him. He does have one complete game. Not much of a fastball, topping out at 86 miles an hour. Ground ball percentage is 49%. It shows here he's got 5 pitches in his arsenal, with a sinker as his best pitch, rated an 89. That fastball is an 82 rating. Overall rated an 86. The 34-year-old right-hander goes to free agency at the end of the 87 season. Looking at his log, you'll see here that he did start against Detroit, taking the loss back on April 25th. He went 7 innings, giving up 4 runs on 7 hits, no walks, and 6 strikeouts. His last start came against the A's. It was a no decision. He went 7 innings, giving up 4 runs on 7 hits, 2 walks, and 6 Ks. Okay, let's take a look at the defense here for the Yankees. Where would they be without Ozzie on the infield? Everywhere else is below league average. first, second, third base, Bob Horner saw his first start of the year yesterday. And then in right field, they got Danny TARTABULL out there, not so hot. HASSEY behind the plate. He's got a 78 arm, it shows. Okay, Gibby leading off against Steve Rogers. Here we go. I wonder if, as Gibby grounds out to first, if Steve Rogers is pitching in the modern era, would they just call him Captain America? Would that just be a natural nickname for him? One down. Here is Lou Whitaker. Whitaker flips it out to left center field with out number 2. And Glenn Wilson, one of the tired Tigers today. A sleepy Tiger, ground ball to Ozzie at short. That's a guaranteed out. We go to the top of the second. No score. Danny TARTABULL leading off. TARTABULL batting .218 versus righties. Full count, and he strikes him out. Blows it by him at 85 miles an hour. The only way that a 85 mile an hour strikeout down the middle is effective is if that sidearm curve is any good. And that is his best pitch. Here's Bob Horner. He got a hit in his very first at-bat as a Yankee. And then we set him down after that. He taps it back to Blyleven for out number 2. The catcher, Ron HASSEY, up next. He's batting .295, 5 home runs. Waits on that curveball and flips it out to GIBSON in left field. That's 6 in a row for Blyleven. We go to the bottom of the second. No score. Ken Smith leading off. He had his 11th home run yesterday. He continues to pound the cover off the ball. Into the hole at short with the ground ball. Ozzie with the best range in baseball, making the play. One down for Greg Brock. Brock hit his 8th home run. He's batting .325 with 8 homers, 30 RBI, and he takes strike 3. Looking. 3 straight strikes there from Rogers. That's his first K for the day. 2 outs. Here's George Bert. Bert, sleepy Tiger, and a base hit to right. I think maybe he's just perennially tired. He's 30 years old and he's still plugging along in our game, despite low ratings and terrible defense. So that's the first hit of the ball game. Runner on first. Terry Kennedy at the plate. Kennedy had 2 doubles in yesterday's ball game. He lines out to Gilbert at second. We go to the top of the third. No score. Lee Mazzilli leading off. It's the bottom third. Mazzilli, Gamble, Gilbert due up. Mazzilli, fly ball into center field. 1 out. The DH, Oscar Gamble, batting .348 versus righties. That's pretty incredible. And he strikes out on that curveball. Blyleven looking untouchable right now. 3 strikeouts so far. And the number 9 hitter, Shawn Gilbert, striking out on a high curve. 4 Ks for Blyleven. We're going to the bottom of the third. No score. We got Trammell, Lemon, and Gibby coming up. Trammell, 3-1 count. Maybe should have taken that pitch. It would have been ball 4. He pops it up to Gilbert. 1 down for Lemon. Lemon, we just want just get on base, Lemon, somehow. Full count. Striking out, swinging. Man, we could not get any production from center field. That is tough. 1-2 count for Gibby, and he strikes out as well. 3 Ks for Rogers. We got a pitcher's duel going as we enter the top of the 4th. And we're back to the top of the lineup with Ozzie Smith. Ozzie's got a 2-1 count. Hard hit, ground ball to Lou. Handles it for out number 1. That will bring up Dennis Worth. He struck out first time up. Strikes out again. Blyleven, 5 Ks. He has been completely untouchable here. Steve KEMP, ground ball up the middle. Whitaker ranging towards second to make the play. We are moving on to the bottom of the fourth. I like games like this. We keep it moving, and it's somewhat exciting. Whitaker with a ground ball to Gilbert. And a predictable error. Gilbert throws it away. Whitaker goes to second. Gilbert had an error yesterday. He is not ready for prime time. He can play nowhere in the infield and nowhere in the outfield. Or another way to look at it is he could play everywhere. Equally bad, I suppose. But he is a second baseman who's just not ready. He's only 19 years old. If you look at his fielding, he's made 3 errors in 6 games. He is very George Brett-like at the moment. So maybe we can get on the board here. We have Whitaker on second. Let's see if Wilson can hit it to the right side. At least get him over. That's exactly what he does. Fly ball to TARTABULL in right. Whitaker will tag easily and go to third. An interesting choice. The Yankees managers feeling like this is going to be a close game. So they're going to pull the infield in with Whitaker at third. It just so happens that Ken Smith leads the American League in sac flies. So that's what we're going to do. Ask for a sac fly. We know Rogers is a soft tosser, so anything that he throws should be able to go to the outfield here. 2-2 count, and a base hit up the middle. That's one better. That's an unearned run, though, of course. Second hit for the Tigers, and Ken Smith is showing why he was, we dealt our closer for him. Of course, Toronto turned around and traded the closer to another American League team. Who was it? Oakland? I can't remember now. Oh, the White Sox. That's who we traded him for. All right, so Smith on first is 1-0. Oh, man, let's see. I feel like this is a double play waiting to happen, but you know what? Greg Brock's on fire right now. 1-1 count, and a ground ball to third. Around the horn. No, Brock beats it out to first. 2 down. Here's George Brett. Brett batting .241 versus righties. And a base hit over the third baseman's head, down the line to the wall. Brock scoring from first on an RBI double from George Brett. That is his 7th double of the year, only his 20th RBI. Brett on second, 2 down. That's an unearned run. Terry Kennedy, a base hit to right. Brett will score from second, and it's 3-0 Detroit. Terry Kennedy continues to impress us. Kennedy on first. Here's Trammell. I feel like hitting and running, but it's not a double play, obviously. 2 down. And I guess you never hit and run with 2 outs. So. Trammell, ground ball to Gilbert. We started this inning off with that error, costly error. 3 runs scored. We go to the top of the 5th inning, and Danny TARTABULL will lead it off. Now, if Bert's going to crash and burn, it's going to be right now, here in the 5th inning. He's been on fire so far. 2-2 count to TARTABULL, and he strikes him out on that inside curveball. Blyleven, 6 Ks as Bob Horner steps in. 0-2 count to Horner. He strikes out looking. What is going on with Bert Blyleven? I don't even recognize this guy. All right, we got to be careful here with HASSEY. 292 hitter. 0 for 1. And he strikes out the side. Oh my gosh. Blyleven is completely shutting the Yankees down. Wow. I don't know what else to say but wow. Maybe some swear words. Pick your own. Throw them in there. Lemon line drive to center field. 1 out. Here's Gibby. Gibby's 0 for 2 today with a strikeout, and that one squeaks past Ozzie somehow for a single. Not an infield single, technically, I guess. So we've got Gibby on first. We are going to try to steal second base. A 75% chance. We have a slow-ass pitcher, and we have a below-average catcher arm. Gibby's got 15 stolen bases. He's 15 of 18. Here we go. Right down the middle. And he steals second. Gibby, 16 stolen bases now. All right. Gibby on second base for Whitaker with 1 out. No 1 count to Lou. Ground ball to second. Gibson. He goes. That was risky behavior with Ozzie. Only play was to first. Okay, runner on third. Here's Glenn Wilson. Wilson, second on the team in RBIs. 1-2 count. Fly ball to center. So we will strand Gibby at third. Go to the top of the 6th. 3-0 Detroit. Blyleven. 8 strikeouts through 5 innings. Here's a 1-2 count. MAZZILLI popping it up into shallow left field. Looks like TRAMMELL went back to make the catch. 1 down. Here's the DH, Oscar Gamble. A 2-2 count to Gamble. And a base hit to left field. There goes the perfect game. That's a shame. It's 5 in the 3rd innings, and this might be where the wheels come off. I mean, I said that in the 5th inning, but we know what happens sooner or later. You have to pay the price. So here's Shawn Gilbert. This will be the determining factor right here. Yeah, so there's back-to-back singles. Gamble will go to third. Oh, you'll hold. All right. Do we let Blyleven get completely blown up here is the question. Full count to Ozzie Smith. He pops it up. Oh, I got a new Swift subscriber. I love sports cards. Welcome. He pops it up to first. 2 down. Dennis Werth at the plate. Now, Werth with 1 swing of the bat could tie it up. He's got an 82 power. But he's 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts. Blyleven has owned him today. 1-2 count to Werth. And he strikes him out for the 3rd time. 9th K for Blyleven. And we go to the bottom of the 6th. 3-0 Detroit. We've lost a perfect game, but still a lot here to be excited about. Let's take a look at the in-game stats. Kenny Smith, 1 for 2 with an RBI. 2-2 count. And he strikes out. 4 Ks for Rogers. Technically has not given up an earned run yet. I have to think that we're going to score against this guy sooner or later. Or maybe with his, what do you have, a 4.25 ERA coming into the game. Maybe this is how he gets his ERA right. 1 down for Brock, and he hits a ground ball to Ozzie. 2 quick outs, and George Brett pulls it to first for out number 3. We are moving on to the 7th inning. Blyleven at 89 pitches. I mean, we're kind of playing with house money right now. Here's Steve Kemp. He's 0 for 2. 1-0 count to Kemp. And a base hit, maybe a double. Wilson can't get it in quickly enough as the leadoff guy doubles. That's his 15th for Steve Kemp. Runner in scoring position. Here's Danny TARTABULL. Ground ball in the hole, short. Kemp will hold. TRAMMELL checks him, goes to first for out number 1. Next up is Bob Horner. Horner's got a history against Blyleven. He's 4 for 10. 0 for 2 today with a strikeout. And he strikes out for his Blyleven's 10th K of the day. How come all of a sudden we're seeing all these double-digit strikeout games? All right. 2 down. Here's HASSEY. HASSEY 0 for 2. 2-2 count. And a ground ball to TRAMMELL. I'm sorry, to WHITAKER. And there's out number 3. So we move on to the bottom of the 7th. Terry Kennedy leading off. It's the bottom third for the Tigers. Kennedy, a ground ball to second. Also, I just want to take a moment to point out, we've said this so many times, it's always been against us, but usually it's us that doesn't have a hit through 5. We had that whole stretch where it happened all the time. This is the first time that I can remember during this period of the season where we did to somebody else. So, I mean, it's obviously it's a game glitch. What are you going to do? There's so many now, you can't even really line them up. All right. Line out to first. It showed that the ball was kind of spinning there as if it was a play in front of the plate. I don't know. 2 quick outs. And Lemon's going to get a hit. He gets off the schneid. Could that be 2? We are going to go for 2. 70% chance at a 69 arm. Lemon does get a double. There we go. Give him a little bit of confidence. His 4th double of the year. His OPS finally over 500. Lemon in scoring position for Gibby. Gibby's 1 for 3. He's got a stolen base. And he strikes out looking. Moving on to the top of the 8th inning, 3-0 Detroit. Blyleven's at 104 pitches. He can go about 130. Bottom third of the lineup for the Yankees. Mazzilli, Gamble, and Gilbert. Mazzilli, 0 for 2 today, pops it up into foul ground on the third base side. Bert making the catch. 1 out. Here's Oscar Gamble. A ground ball to Lou. Lou makes the play. 2 quick outs. Here's the number 9 hitter. Gilbert, he's 1 for 2 today. And a ground ball to Brock at first. Step on the bag, Brock. There we go. Great performance today from Blyleven. We'll give him a shot at the shutout. Here's Lou. Lou 0 for 3 today. And finally, the first walk. There were no walks in yesterday's ball game, by the way. And this is the first walk today. And it's WHITAKER. That's unbelievable. WHITAKER had 2 walks in the first game of the series. Okay, we're going to hit and run. I mean, Rogers has to give up a run. So maybe we're going to get one here. This will tell us for sure. Ground ball to first, gets WHITAKER to second. So not a good performance today from Wilson. We have a runner in scoring position for Ken Smith. Smith's got a ribby. 1-1 count. Oh, an infield single from Smith. WHITAKER goes to third. First and third, 1 down. Let's see if Brock can give us a sac fly. Full count. And he walks. Bases are loaded for Rogers, who's officially tired now. George Brett at the plate. Brett's 2 for 3. He's got a double. He's got an RBI. Bases are loaded. Now we're just going to swing away. 0-1 count. And that's going to be good enough to get that earned run to score. WHITAKER scores. Smith advances. And it's 4-0 Detroit. And this will be a strikeout, right? No. And another fly ball to center from Kennedy. So Rogers did give up his earned run. Now the question will be, will Blyleven give up the earned run? He hasn't had a strikeout in 2 innings. So he sort of capped that number. We'll find out right now with Ozzie Smith. 1-1 count to Ozzie. Fly ball to center field. Okay, I'm liking the way this is headed. 117 pitches for Blyleven. 1 out. Dennis Worth at the plate. 1-2 count. And he gets his 11th strikeout, officially tired at 120, not 130. That's interesting. Well, I mean, we've got to have him finish the game. Now, KEMP could go deep right here and just ruin everything, but it's a chance we're willing to take. 1-0 count. Ground ball to Brett. Come on, Brett. Field it. Yes! Tigers win. A shutout for Blyleven with 11 strikeouts. A fantastic performance. Handshakes, butt slaps. Slappy steaks. We sweep the Yankees at home. We're going to advance a day. Oh, there's a trade offer here. Jesse Barfield to the Phils for Greg Jelks and Jay Loviglio. Neither one of these guys. A 27-year-old who can't play, or a 22-year-old. Let's take a look at Jelks. Got a little bit of a call-up in '81, but has not played in the majors since. Oh, he's got some power. He could play first. We have so many. We just traded for that Tillman guy, right? To play first, so this is not going to help us. I mean, we would be just as well off keeping Barfield, who's got that rocket arm. He could be a fourth outfielder for us. So we're going to say no. That doesn't really benefit us. Okay, let's advance a day. Maybe there'll be another trade offer. Simulating. That was a great victory. Nothing there. So let's take a look at the standings. Okay, we are 1 game back, as everybody managed to get some wins there. We've won 3 in a row, obviously. We head to Toronto, who is a near 500 team. We're totally going to be rested, which is good. Jeff Robinson will make his first start in Toronto. That'll be interesting. Okay, let's take a look at the National League. Philadelphia, 1.5 games up on the Mets. LA and Cincinnati tied. Let's take a look here at headline news. Brainiac Baseball Daily Beat. 6 RBI for the shortstop, Spike Owen, in a 10-9 win over the Angels. He had a home run. Wow. I wonder if it was a grand slam. I don't know. Tom Dodd, their third baseman, had 3 hits. He had 2 walks as well. So that was a offensive output for both teams. Next game, Toronto routs Oakland, knocks them from first. What was the final score? Well, they routed them, but it doesn't say what happened. But it's good to see Dave Stieb getting a complete game win. Does it say? It doesn't. We just have to accept the fact that it was a rout. Blyleven, there we go. He pitches a 4-0 shutout. He will be the player of the game today. He had 11 strikeouts. Is that the most dominant performance we have seen from any pitcher in any of our sims? 11 strikeout shutout, and he did not walk anybody. How many hits did he give up? Did it say? 3, I think it was. Then the Yankees went on to play Milwaukee. Joe LaFave knocks in 5 against the new-look Milwaukee Brewers. He had a double, a home run. Bob Horner went 2 for 4. That's good. Lee Mazzilli had 3 hits. There's the Joe LaFave card showing the Yankees logo. Okay, that's it. Transactions, any trades with any other teams? No. And in fact, over those 2 days, there's only one thing of note, and that is Mike Moore of Montreal fractured his ankle. He's going to miss almost 3 weeks. So he was pitching terrible. Okay, let's go ahead and pull up the box score for today's ball game and get out of here. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and or subscribe to the channel. This was maybe the best game we've ever seen Blyleven, player of the game, hands down. 5-1 on the year. Not a complete game, 11 strikeouts, only give up 3 hits. George Brett had 2 RBI today. Good job by him. Steve Rogers, a hard luck loser. The Gilbert error gave 3 unearned runs. Tigers tacked on a run late to give him that at least that 1 earned run. He only walked 2, struck out 5. Again, how many games have we seen where both pitchers have pitched a complete game? Not very often, if at all. All right. That will do it. We're going to come back tomorrow with the first game of the series versus Toronto at Exhibition Stadium. So until then, everyone, have a great day.